There was a time Liberia was very hot, man. Very, very hot. I mean, hot. At a point where we had about 4 vice presidents in Liberia for the first time in African history. Liberia is one of the oldest African nations, so at least they always like to set history. They were the first African country to have 4 vice presidents. At the point when Liberia was so hot, ECOMOG have to bring an idea. That idea was that all the warlords should cease fire and come and be part of the unity government. All the warlords should come and be part of the Liberian government. And then they made Ruth Sando Perry, I think so. I think Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was the one elected as the president when we left, we were leaving. I think it was Ruth Sando Perry, yeah. So they brought her, they made her the interim president. Charles Taylor was of the NPFL, National Patriotic Front of Liberia, was one vice president representing the NPFL. Alhaji Kuruma was also a vice president representing the Yilimoke. Oscar Quia was a vice president representing the civilian. Oscar Quia, remember that old man. Then George Bully was a vice president representing the LPC, Liberian Peace Council. I think why Roosevelt Johnson was not a vice president was because both of them were from Vilimo. I don't know, I'm just saying. Because I remember we had Charles Taylor, we had Alhaji Kuruma, we had George Bully, also have Oscar Quia. Those were the vice president then under Ruth Sando Perry. So I say Monrovia was hot. Everybody has his own area where they control. If you are from MPFL, you cannot go to Ilimo area, even though they said there was fire. The place was hot. Every day we settle problem. And it was always resort to firing. They will say, these people are making problem here, they'll move us here. Before we go know what happened, we have to fire to solve the problem. We have to force the problem to stop because all of them were militant trying to control Monrovia. It was not easy, man. It was not easy. Roosevelt Johnson was living in Camp Johnson Road. My soldiers worked with him. Some of our soldiers, Nigerian soldiers, worked with him. Now, out of those people, prominent key figures in Liberia, the only people I work with minister, one minister, Superwood, that lived at Cinco. I work with him. The man used to live beers, white beers, tall man. War is not good. I used to tell Liberian people, even Sierra Leonean, war is not good. This man was having police escort in Liberia. He was a big man in Liberia. But 1997, when we went to Liberia, Sierra Leone to counter coup, we returned back to Nigeria, and late General Maxwell Kube requested that we should be brought back, we that countered the coup, because we had experience operating in Freetown. They said we should be brought back to to Freetown. During January 6, 1999, when rebels invaded Freetown. After we have countered the coup, and we that suffered for the war returned back to Nigeria. You see the mistake? The people they brought from Nigeria, those soldiers, they didn't know what we passed through in the hands of RUF and the Sierra Leone army. When I say Sierra Leone army, not all of them were fighting us. About 20% of Sierra Leone army, or let's say 25%, were loyal to ECOMOG, so they were with us. We were fighting together. We used to operate together. about 25% of Sierra Leone army, SLA. That's why sometimes you see me standing with pictures. Although those pictures some of them are very bad. That I snapped with some of them. So that was how we and the Sierra Leone army came together to make sure the Freetown was safe. You get the point? So that is it. Now, sometimes I would like to give this story, a very long one, but when I look at my time, the time is going. So a man that was a big man, Superwood, I saw him in Freetown 1999. He was running from corner to corner. You live in your own country as a big man, you go to another country, become a refugee. Liberian, war is not good. Sierra Leone, war is not good. Africa, war is not good. Don't allow anybody to deceive you. What we saw during the war is not good for another person to experience. So tell your people, war is not good. I will continue with this story because I look at my time. If I do more than this, I cannot upload it.